All right, we are here in Gardena, California at Junipero Serra High School. Got a big interview for you guys on the podcast today. We're talking with 2024 defensive back Dakoda Fields. Dakoda, how you doing, man?
Pretty good.
All right, so we're in the off season now, right? Football is wrapped up, but you're staying busy. Whether it's 7-on-7, I believe you have some track stuff going on. Just kind of get me up to speed at what life's been like since kind of we last spoke. I know that was more in football season.
Since the off season started, I've been getting some pretty big offers from Ohio State, Alabama, Tennessee. A lot of SEC schools and Big Ten schools. So, and also I'll be starting track this week. I'll be going to my first track meet, the Arcadia Winter Championships, and then for the most part, I've been going to 7-on-7 tournaments. I went to Arizona and the Miami one, and then this week I ended up visiting UW. So.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I was seeing those offers come in, and I wasn't super shocked because when I moved out here and was kind of getting to know guys in the area, they were telling me, yeah, Roderick's the talk right now, but Dakota's next up. So how do you kind of just wrap your head around getting those big-time offers like Bama and Ohio State that hop in the mix?
It's a dream come true because I feel like I wasn't getting recruited as hard as I was after my sophomore year, but it could have been because of my injury during the season. But, yeah, once the winter started, my recruitment started to pick back up, so I'm really proud of myself for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congrats on all the big offers coming in. I definitely had to make sure to say that. Made it out to Washington recently. I know that they're one of the West Coast schools with a lot of buzz right now, coming off the season that they did with Kalen DeBoer. Just tell me a little bit about that trip and kind of the impression that Washington made on you.
I love the coaches, love the coaching staff. I love the stadium, the fans. The fans show a lot of love on Twitter, all social media, so I love that. The facilities are pretty nice. I got a chance to talk to Coach Juice and also go to dinner with him, and he actually showed me a 4-year plan of what it would be like if I went there. So, and I also got to tour the whole university with Coach DeBoer, so me and him are building a pretty good relationship now too.
Yeah, I've been out to that campus, and it's definitely one of the nicest ones, out here on the West Coast. They definitely have a lot of purple over there. But yeah, you said the 4-year plan with Coach Juice. Tell me a little bit more about that. What does that 4-year plan look like for you? I know that Washington has a pretty strong reputation with DBs.
Yeah, it's more about winning awards, like the Jim Thorpe Award. In my freshman year, he had a set of goals of what he wanted me to hit. And if I hit those goals, it'll lead me towards the winning that Jim Thorpe Award, which will lead me to a high draft pick. So,
okay, yeah, laying out the steps to kind of help get you where you ultimately want to go. And with you being such a high-level track athlete, Dakoda, is that also kind of in the discussions that you're having with schools, possibly doing both at the next level?
Yes, it's not a huge thing, but I definitely plan on running track while I'm still doing football in college. So.
Okay. So we got the Washington trip checked off. That was your most recent one. But now that we're kind of entering a dead period, I just want to go more big picture with you. During the season, I know you were able to make it out to Oregon, but what were some of those other recent trips that are kind of more fresh on your mind right now?
I got to go to Miami and also Arizona State. Arizona State, I really didn't get to talk to too many coaches because it was really a team thing with my 7-on-7 team. But Miami, I got to tour a little bit and also build a better relationship with the DB coach. So I didn't get to talk to Coach Cristobal. He was out of town. But hopefully when I go back to visit, I can build a relationship with him too.
Okay, because you went out to Miami for Battle Miami, right? Okay, and that was with the premium guys. I was out in Santa Ana over the weekend, and that they just put on a show, man. That was my first ever time at like a 7-on-7 deal. Okay, but let's talk about Miami a little bit more, and then we'll definitely get into Oregon at some point and kind of what lies ahead. So making it out to Miami, Mario Cristobal and Miami have really had a lot of recruiting momentum since he took that job. Maybe not the best season last year, but what's your feel with the Canes right now and kind of what they have going on over there in Coral Gables?
I just feel like I need to get up there a little more, talk to the coaches a little more, build a better relationship, and see where it takes me from there.
Okay, so still in the early stages of kind of building that relationship. No shortage of DBs that have come out of Miami, in recent years. For a West Coast guy, what was it like just being out there in Miami and kind of getting to take that visit?
The weather is the exact same besides the humidity, so it really feels the same as California. So I feel like it's an even matchup. So.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I know the humidity definitely hits different over there. Fortunately, we don't have to deal with too much of that out our way here in Southern California. So now let's kind of shift to what's ahead, right? So we're in a dead period in a couple days, right? I mean, everyone's taking their visits for the most part, and now we head into a February dead period. Now that you have all these big time visits, what's kind of next for you in the recruiting process? As far as trips go, maybe ones that you have planned or ones that you'd like to take.
Yeah, a couple of ones I would like to take is Ohio State, LSU, Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee, because I haven't been up there yet. And I feel like a couple of those might be officials that I take during the season. So I feel like I just need to get up there and take an unofficial before I want to make it an official.
Yeah, you mentioned some big name programs, Alabama, LSU, Ohio State. Those are some schools that have really made a habit of taking some of the top guys from the West Coast and building their schools with West Coast talent. What's the draw with some of those schools for you?
I feel like it's development, and it'll be the easiest way to get me to the league. So the competitiveness in the SEC is really great, and the Big Ten. So I feel like those will really fit me. Even I like the Pac-12 too, but it's more schools in the SEC and the Big Ten that I feel like will get me to the league.
Okay, and here's kind of a fun one. Coming from a DB, obviously you're getting recruited by some pretty big schools. Who's DBU right now in your eyes?
I feel like it's kind of even between, I'll probably say Alabama. Ohio State slowed down a little bit ever since Jeff Okuda and Denzel Ward went out. Maybe Georgia. Georgia has had a couple corners that came out. Oregon, I haven't seen too many, but in the past like 2 or 3 years, they've had a couple. So I feel like it's even between all the schools that I like. LSU, yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll revisit that discussion once we get to the NFL draft this upcoming year. All right. Let's see what else we got here. I know that Oregon's a school that you've been pretty high on for quite some time. What's the communication looked like with that coaching staff? Did anybody come by here recently to see you during the visit period?
Yeah, I actually talked to Coach Tosh about 2 weeks ago or a week ago, and then Coach Lannon and Coach Meat came up here for a home visit. So I got to talk to them. They want to know when the next time I could come up, so it's probably going to be early March, like right after the dead period. Maybe couple spring practices, maybe the spring game too. So.
Okay, yeah. So you're definitely feeling like a priority there. I would think, with all those coaches coming out to see you. Where would you say you're kind of at when it comes to your Oregon interest, given that all these new schools are kind of hopping in, but feels like Oregon's been in a good spot for a while?
Yeah, I feel like Oregon's still a school that's in my top 5. I think they'll stay in the top 5. They're one of the good Pac-12 schools that could compete with SEC and Big Ten. So I feel like they'll stay in the top 5 for me throughout my whole recruiting process.
Okay. And so Oregon's in a good spot. They're still in good footing as you really kind of see your recruitment take off here in the winter months. You mentioned taking some official visits during the season. Is that kind of the plan for you as opposed to taking some in the summer or even earlier? What's kind of the official visit timeline and maybe a commitment timeline looking like?
Committing wise, I feel like it'll be something that happens maybe like towards the end of the season, because most of my officials, I feel like I want to take them like during the season so I can see like how game days go and all that. So.
Okay. Yeah, so that makes sense, right? You want to see what the vibe's like at these places, and the recruiting process only comes around one time. As we're kind of winding down here in the interview, Dakoda, first, I don't know if I've asked you this. I know you talked about development being pretty important for you, but as you get ready to hit the road next month, what's kind of most important for you? What's the most important thing for you to see when you check out these schools?
Relationships with the coaches and what they can offer for me after football, or just like life after football, really. Like, I don't want it to just be a school where they're just going to develop me in sports, but also as a human being.
Okay, and just a couple more for you. So you said committing probably after the season or towards the end of the season, I believe. Are you looking to be an early enrollee guy, seeing that you do also do track?
It's a possibility, but yeah, depending on how I feel after the football season, I'll see if I still want to run track or not, or if I want to enroll.
All right, and then the last thing that I have is kind of a fun question. So like I said at the beginning of the interview, Rod was a lot of the talk in the secondary, and then now Jason Mitchell's heading to Bosco. So I feel like you're going to have a lot of the attention on you heading into next season. What's your mindset? What's your approach to this 2023 season with Serra?
I have a lot of goals set. I plan on being a leader and a captain of the team this year and just leading us toward hopefully another championship. So.
All right, there you go. That is Dakoda Fields, 2024 defensive back at Junipero Serra High School. And this is Max Torres. Thanks so much for listening to another episode of the Ducks Dish Podcast.